Quiet now, everybody. Quiet, listen to me. We're going to start a show. Now, some of you people have been with me before. You know it's going to be a tough grind. You're going to dance until your feet fall off. You're not able to stand up any longer. But we're going to have a show.
Welcome to the Pink Door Podcast. Imagine listing a gorgeous multi-million-dollar property in, one of Massachusetts' most desirable towns.
Right, which happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So you've manicured the lawn, you've staged the living room, and you're bracing for this inevitable bidding war.
You're ready for the offers to just roll in.
Right. But instead, you get absolute silence. For 2 agonizing months.
Oh, that is the worst feeling for a seller.
It really is. And meanwhile, a slightly smaller house, just like 3 streets over, hits the market and sells for $100,000 over asking. And it does this in less time than it takes to get a package delivered to your front door.
Yeah, it's wild how fast it can happen.
It's crazy. So if you are watching the South Shore housing scene right now, you probably know exactly what town we are looking at today.
Oh, absolutely.
We are doing a deep dive into the incredibly competitive and honestly often baffling July 2026 real estate market in Hingham, Massachusetts.
And we've got a lot of data to unpack for this one.
We really do. We have a huge stack of fresh data right in front of us. We've got the latest Hingham MLS survey, a detailed rundown of recently sold properties, and the July Realtors Property Resource, the RPR Market Trends Report.
Which is packed with some pretty surprising numbers this month.
Yes. So the mission for this deep dive is to solve a very specific mystery for you. Why are some homes in Hingham just vanishing in under a week, while others are just gathering dust?
That really is the central mystery for anyone trying to navigate this landscape right now.
Right.
Because when you look at the surface level numbers, they seem completely contradictory.
How so?
Well, you have buyers who feel like they are caught in this, pressure cooker. They're forced to move at the speed of light. Yet those exact same buyers are driving past active listings with for sale signs that have just been staked in the front yard since May.
Yeah, just sitting there baking in the sun.
Exactly. So to understand the mechanics of the Hingham market right now, we first have to look at the sheer velocity of the transactions that are actually happening.
Okay, lay it on me.
The RPR market trends data paints a very, very clear picture here. Hingham is firmly, unequivocally, in a seller's market.
Well, we hear that term thrown around constantly, though. Seller's market can mean a lot of different things depending on your zip code.
Oh, definitely. It's a broad term.
Right. So what does that actually look like on the ground, mathematically, in Hingham this July?
Good question. It looks like severely constrained inventory combined with an incredibly fast absorption rate.
Break that down for me.
Sure. So look at the months of inventory metric. That tells us how long it would take to sell every single home currently on the market, assuming no new homes were listed.
Right, if everything just froze today.
Exactly. That number has dropped 14.76% month over month. We are currently sitting at just 2.83 months of supply.
Wow, less than 3 months.
Yeah, it's tight.
And just for context for you listening, a healthy, balanced market where neither the buyer nor the seller has a massive advantage usually hovers around 4 to 6 months of inventory?
Yep, 4 to 6 is standard for a balanced market. So at 2.83 months, the sellers are just holding almost all the leverage.
Which explains the pressure cooker feeling.
Absolutely. But the number that truly illustrates the speed of this market is the median days in RPR. It is sitting at a mere 7 days.
7 days? Wait, really?
Just 1 week. From the moment a house hits the MLS to the moment it is locked up.
That is insane. Buying a house in Hingham right now feels less like traditional real estate and more like, trying to get front row concert tickets before the online bots snatch them all up.
That is the perfect analogy.
You hit refresh on Thursday when the listing goes live, you fight for parking at the open house on Saturday, and by Monday morning, you're either in a bidding war or you've already lost.
Yeah, and the buyers who are actually winning those wars are doing it by paying a premium.
Which is expected, right?
Sure, but the data shows that homes are selling at 100.5% of their list price. The demand is absolutely ferocious right now.
Okay, well, here's where I have to push back, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I'm looking at the exact same RPR data you are, and there is a massive red flag.
The median price drop.
Yes. The report states that the median sold price dropped 11.33% month over month, It's currently sitting at $1,279,500.
Yep, I see it.
So if homes are flying off the shelves in 7 days and selling for over asking, how on earth is the median price dropping by over 11%?
It seems wrong. Right.
I mean, yeah, a double-digit price drop usually signals that a market is crashing, or at least heavily cooling off.
I completely get why you'd think that. It looks like a cooling market on paper, but it is actually just a statistical illusion.
A statistical illusion. You're going to have to walk me through the math on that one.
Okay, think about it like a car lot. Imagine a dealership that sells a mix of standard sedans and ultra-luxury sports cars.
Okay, I'm with you.
If 1 month they sell 5 sedans and 5 sports cars, the average sale price of a vehicle for that month is going to be quite high.
Because those sports cars are pulling the average way up.
Exactly. But if the next month they sell 10 sedans and 0 sports cars, the average sale price for that month plummets.
Oh, I see.
It doesn't mean the sedans got cheaper. It just means the expensive inventory simply stopped moving, and that drags the overall median down.
Okay. So the mix of what is actually successfully selling in Hingham has shifted away from the top-tier luxury bracket.
You nailed it. To really see this disconnect, we have to put the active properties, the ones still sitting on the market, side by side against the ones that actually cross the finish line.
The MLS survey breaks this down.
It breaks it down perfectly. Right now, there are only 11 active listings left in Hingham.
Wow, just 11.
Just 11, and they have been sitting there for an average of 61 days.
61 days. 2 months on the market in a town where the median time to sell is 7 days.
Yeah.
That is an absolute eternity.
It really is.
If a house sits for 61 days in this specific climate, buyers start assuming something is structurally wrong with it, right?
Oh, they absolutely do. But the real issue isn't structural at all. It's financial.
Meaning the price.
Exactly. Look at the pricing on those 11 active listings. They carry a lofty median price of $1,750,000, with the average price skewing over $2 million.
That is a hefty price tag.
It is. Now, pivot and look at the 24 pending or under agreement listings and the 24 sold listings in July.
Okay, what do those look like?
Well, the properties that successfully sold had an average of just 13 days to an offer and a significantly lower average sale price of $1,574,875.
So we are essentially looking at a tale of 2 completely different markets operating in the exact same zip code.
Pretty much, yeah.
The homes priced around that $1.5 million mark and under are just flying off the shelves in under 2 weeks.
Right.
Meanwhile, the ultra-luxury aspirational properties are hitting a brick wall. They're just padding out the days on market statistics because the sellers got greedy.
Yeah, the sellers aimed way too high, and the market is definitely punishing them for it right now.
Is there data to back that up?
Oh, the proof is right there in the price change listings category of the report. In July alone, 17 listings were forced to reduce their prices.
Ouch.
And they didn't just trim like a few $1,000s off the top. They dropped by an average of 6.5%.
6.5% on a multi-million-dollar property is staggering. Let me just run that math real quick.
Go ahead.
If we use that 1.75 million active median, we are talking about a price drop of well over $100,000.
Actually, the average dollar amount of those price drops was $171,875.
Oh, wow. Almost $172,000.
Yeah. And the psychological impact of a drop that large is huge. Once a property sits and once that price gets slashed, there's blood in the water.
Buyers lose that sense of urgency.
Exactly. The takeaway here is that buyers in 2026 are incredibly educated. They are staring at the exact same MLS data we are.
They have the apps to get the alerts.
Yep. They are absolutely willing to pay over asking for the right property, which we clearly see in that 101% sale-to-list ratio. But they refuse to be taken advantage of.
They won't be pushed around.
Right. They will not drastically overpay for an overpriced active listing just for the privilege of living in Hingham.
Which means they aren't desperate, they are highly decisive.
Very decisive.
Like, if a house is priced accurately at $1.3 million, they will gladly throw elbows and bid it up to $1.4 million to guarantee they win.
Oh, all day long.
But if a seller throws a house on the market at $2.3 million, just to see if a billionaire happens to be driving by, the buyers are just going to scroll right past it on their phones.
They won't even book a tour. And that seller ends up trapped in that 61-day purgatory, eventually swallowing a $170,000 price cut.
Brutal.
This is a market that heavily rewards precision pricing and severely punishes pure aspiration.
That makes total sense. So if buyers are snapping up these reasonably priced homes in 7 to 13 days, I want to know what exactly they're getting for their money.
We should definitely look at the profiles of those homes.
Yeah, because we know that you're decisive, but what are they actually pouncing on? Let's look at the specific property profiles from the sold data. because I really want to identify the it factor.
Okay, let's dive into it.
What triggers a buyer to pull the trigger on $1.5 million purchase in under a week?
Well, when you look through the Hingham sold document, a very specific hybrid profile emerges. Let's isolate 801 Main Street as a prime example here.
Okay, 801 Main Street.
It's an 1875 antique home sitting on over 4 acres, right adjacent to South Elementary School.
Great location.
Amazing location. It was listed for $1,299,000. It sold in just 6 days for $1,405,000.
Over $100,000 over asking in less than a week. What was the mechanism behind that? I mean, why did buyers fight so hard for that specific house?
Because it perfectly synthesized historic New England charm with massive, unglamorous, modern updates.
Unglamorous, like what?
Well, the buyers got the aesthetic they wanted, the preserved period details, the classic architecture, the historic feel.
Which everyone loves in Hingham.
Right. But behind the walls, it featured a brand new heating system, a completely new roof, and updated electrical, alongside a renovated kitchen and new bathrooms.
Oh, so they didn't have to sacrifice modern functionality for historical character.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, it's like they want the aesthetic of a vintage 1960s classic car, but they expect it to have a flawless modern engine, Apple CarPlay, and heated seats.
That is exactly it.
They want the look of history without the actual inconvenience of living the past.
That is the exact psychology driving this market right now.
Yep.
Buyers in 2026 are hyper-aware of the current costs and delays associated with renovations.
Oh, yeah. Getting a contractor is a nightmare.
Contractor labor is incredibly expensive, supply chains can still be a bit unpredictable, and frankly, people are just fatigued.
They don't want a project.
No, they do not want to spend the first 6 months in their new, expensive home living in a construction zone covered in drywall dust. They are demanding move-in ready perfection.
And they will clearly pay a premium for a turnkey experience.
They absolutely will.
Well, I'm seeing that exact same pattern with another property on the sold list.
Yeah.
403 Main Street.
Oh, yeah, that's a great example.
This is an 1871 Victorian right in Hingham Center. It sold for $2.15 million.
Big number.
Huge number. And the listing highlights the front and back staircases, the wide pine floors, the soaring 10-foot ceilings. Like the antique bones are all there.
Right, the charm is intact.
But right alongside that, it boasts a sunny eat-in kitchen with a massive island, a completely finished lower level designed as a kid hangout space, and a perfectly manicured, fenced-in yard.
Yeah, and don't overlook the geographical advantage of that specific Victorian, too.
You mean the location?
Yes. The listing notes explicitly highlight its walkability. It's walking distance to the high school, to the local bagel shop, to the harbor, and to downtown Hingham.
Oh, that's huge.
Proximity is a massive driver in this 7-day frenzy. But it's not exclusively the historic downtown homes that are moving at warp speed either. No, the coastal lifestyle is another huge trigger for these buyers. Take a look at 3 Talbot Road. It's located in the highly sought-after Crow Point neighborhood.
Crow Point has always been a hotspot. It has a completely different energy than Main Street.
It really does. 3 Talbot Road offered stunning views of Hingham Harbor and the ocean from nearly every single room in the house.
Wow.
Yeah, buyers there are paying for the coastal lifestyle, the ability to just walk down to the Hingham Bathing Beach or easily access the new Foster Elementary School.
That makes sense.
And if buyers aren't specifically chasing ocean access, they are prioritizing immediate nature access.
Ah, you're talking about the property on Franklin Rogers Road. Right?
Yes, 30 Franklin Rogers Road. It's located in Conservatory Park.
Right.
The key feature here is that it literally abuts Bear Cove Park.
That's the huge nature reserve.
Exactly. The new owners have direct private access to over 300 acres of conservation land and walking trails right out their back door.
That is incredible.
Furthermore, the property featured a heated saltwater in-ground pool, so it offers a completely private recreational oasis, but it's still just minutes away from the Derby Street shops and the commuter rail into Boston.
So whether a buyer is targeting an 1870s Victorian that is mere steps from their morning coffee, a coastal home with sweeping harbor views, or a private sanctuary bordering 300 acres of protected woods, the common denominator really is lifestyle curation.
That is the perfect way to phrase it.
These homes are offering a highly specific, fully realized lifestyle right out of the box. No assembly required, no contractors needed.
And because that specific inventory is so rare, when buyers see the lifestyle they want, accurately priced and ready to go, they do not hesitate.
They just jump.
That is exactly how you end up with a median days on market of 7.
Okay, so knowing everything we've just discussed, what is actually selling, the premium place on move-in ready condition, and how incredibly fast the market is moving, how does a family searching for a home in these competitive Hingham neighborhoods actually win?
It takes a lot of strategy.
Right, like what is the strategic playbook for a listener who wants to get into this market without losing their mind or drastically overpaying?
Well, the data dictates a very rigid strategy if you want to be successful right now.
Lay it out for us.
First and foremost, you have to be prepared to act instantly. Your window of opportunity is just 7 to 13 days.
That is so narrow.
It is. That means you cannot be casually browsing. You must have your financing completely secured, your pre-approval letter in hand, and a very clear understanding with your real estate agent about exactly what terms you're willing to offer before you even set foot inside the open house.
Wow, so you cannot tour a house on a Saturday and wait until Monday evening to decide if you want to put in an offer.
Absolutely not. By Monday evening, it is already gone.
You essentially have to treat every Thursday new listing alert like it is the last house available on earth.
You really do.
But what about the financial barrier to entry? Because that $1.75 million average active listing price we discussed earlier is terrifying for a lot of families looking to move to the South Shore.
You cannot let the active listing prices discourage you. Remember the car lot analogy we talked about?
Right, the expensive car is just sitting there.
Exactly. Those $2 million homes are the ones sitting stagnant. There absolutely is inventory available under $1.5 million, but you have to be willing to sprint for it.
Well, looking at the sold data, there are definitely success stories for under $1.5 million.
There are several. One Fisher Road just sold for $1,060,000.
Okay.
It's a 4-bedroom colonial featuring a vaulted ceiling family room and an oversized deck. Then there's 9 Hoover Road, which is an adorable Cape-style home, and it's sold for $987,500.
Under $1 million in Hingham.
Yep. It offered 1,700 square feet, a classic wood-burning fireplace, and granite counters, all located near top-rated schools. So the relatively affordable inventory, affordable by Hingham standards, of course, does exist.
But those went just as fast as the luxury properties, I assume.
Faster in some cases. 9 Hoover Road had an accepted offer in just one single day.
One day. That doesn't even give you time to sleep on the decision.
Not at all.
Okay, so speed is absolutely non-negotiable. What is the next play in the playbook for a buyer trying to break in?
You have to look for expansion potential.
Expansion potential.
Yes. In a market this tight, with inventory this low, you might not find the perfect 3,000 square foot layout right away. The strategy is to buy the location now, secure the land in a prime neighborhood, and grow the home later when the dust settles.
That makes a lot of sense.
We saw this strategy utilized in several of the recently sold properties. Go back to 403 Main Street, that beautiful $2.15 million Victorian.
Right, the one with the walkability.
Yep. The listing explicitly mentioned an unfinished 3rd floor that could add substantial living area.
Oh, that is a brilliant long-term play.
Isn't it?
You secure the 10-foot ceilings, the manicured yard, and the prime Hingham Center location today. You get your kids into the school system, and like in 5 years, when you actually need a dedicated home office or guest suite, you just build upward into the space you already own.
Precisely. You avoid paying closing costs on a whole new house. It circumvents the need to re-enter this hyper-competitive market down the road.
Are there other examples of this?
Definitely. We saw it again at 70 Elm Street in downtown Hingham. It sold for $1,030,000. It is a charming antique, but it specifically came with a walkout basement, a detached garage, and a walk-up attic.
Wow, so many options.
Every single one of those features represents an opportunity to expand the footprint later. It allows a family to buy into a premier neighborhood, like the Foster School District, at a much more accessible entry price.
So they buy the bones, they buy the neighborhood, and they secure the peace of mind knowing they won't be forced to move when their family outgrows the current layout.
Exactly.
It is entirely about playing the long game while operating at a full sprint. You sprint to secure the geography, and you take your time building out the luxury over the next decade.
And that brings us to a fascinating realization about the underlying psychology of this entire July market.
Ooh, what's that?
When you synthesize all this data, the premium on walkability, the frantic speed, the willingness to buy expansion potential, you realize that the very definition of luxury in Hingham is fundamentally shifting.
How so? Like, what is the new definition?
If you look back 10 or 20 years, luxury in the suburbs was defined by isolation.
True. Huge lots.
Right. It was about massive square footage, a sweeping driveway, and a giant secluded lot far away from the town center. Today, true luxury is defined by access and proximity. It is lifestyle geography.
Here's a thought that builds on that for you to consider.
Yeah.
If luxury is now defined by lifestyle geography, being able to walk to the bagel shop from Main Street, or having direct trail access to Bear Cove Park from your back patio, what happens as the massive shift toward remote work that really solidified over the last few years becomes entirely permanent?
That is a great question.
Commute times matter less in 2026 than they ever have in history. The commuter boat and the train to Boston used to be the ultimate premium drivers in Hingham.
They absolutely were.
But if buyers are only going into the city once a month now, suddenly stepping out of your back door into 300 acres of conservation land becomes infinitely more valuable than being 5 minutes from the train station.
That is a brilliant point. The decoupling of luxury real estate from the daily commute is completely reshaping buyer priorities.
It has to be.
If lifestyle geography remains the ultimate premium, it could drastically alter how towns like Hingham approach future zoning laws. Do they prioritize protecting those conservation lands even more?
I would assume so.
Or do they try to increase high-density walkable retail in areas that currently don't have it?
Right.
The property tax base could shift dramatically based entirely on where the walking trails and coffee shops are, rather than where the train tracks are. It is a massive structural shift.
It really is. The antique car with the modern engine, parked right where all the community action is, with zero concern for the highway on-ramp. That is a fascinating way to look at the future of real estate value. If you have any questions about this episode, or if you are thinking about buying or selling a house anywhere on Boston's South Shore from Salvie to Sagamore, give Jim Aldred a call. He would love to speak with you. Jim believes that people in transition often feel anxious about buying or selling a home, and he provides them with the guidance and security to help your family move on smoothly. Thanks for listening, and catch you on the next episode of the Pink Door Podcast.